Before I hand over to Ruth, just a little housekeeping, if I may. Please could we ask you to keep your cameras on during the webinar if possible. It really makes such a difference to the presenters to see people interacting and engaging with the speaker. And if you have any questions during the webinar, please do pop them into the chat and we will answer them during the question and answer session at the end or during the event. So I'll now hand over to Ruth at Ruth Ferreira Coaching. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you very much. Let me just share my screen and bring up some slides. Amazing. So hi everyone, and nice to meet you. As Sue says, I'm Ruth Ferreira, success coach and founder of Success Club. I'm a business growth coach who's passionate about empowering small business owners to take their business to the next level and accelerate their success. In my experience, most small business owners aren't enjoying the level of success that they deserve. They're great at what they do and they provide a fantastic product or service, but they don't know how to actually grow their business. It's not rocket science, but it's also not taught in schools. And if you don't know, you don't know. I'm on a mission to change that and to empower small business owners to thrive. I help them to accelerate their success, find more clients, make more money, and be the person they know they can be so they can enjoy the confidence and self-respect that comes from achieving their potential, all whilst providing a secure income, comfortable income, and being an inspiring role model for their families and communities. I should mention quickly that you're getting a sneak peek of my new branding that will be launching in the next month. If you look me up after this, what you see on my website won't 100% align with my branding on here, but watch this space. So today we're going to demystify the process of growing your business. It's not hard when you know how and you can take a strategic approach. I plan to add as much value as possible to you in the next 40 minutes because honestly, I'm rooting for you and I want each of you to have an amazing next few months and years in your business. So please focus, grab a pen and paper and take some notes. But first, I'd love to ask, what does success mean to you? Because actually it means different things to different people. Like you, my clients are real people. People who are just looking to pay their mortgage, take care of their families, and gain the satisfaction and self-confidence that comes from excelling in their business. For some people, success is that first month where you easily cover the mortgage payment, bills, and have enough left to treat your family to something special. For others, it's seeing their client base grow and seeing the amazing impact that their business has on their clients. For many, it's that internal self-confidence and self-belief that comes from excelling in what you're doing and seeing the increased respect for your family and community for your accomplishments. Some people just want to build their business far enough that they can make a good enough living doing what they love, working part-time and enjoying time freedom the rest of the time. And some of my clients just want to build an empire and casually dominate the world. And you know what? All of that's great. People start and grow their business for different reasons. And I love finding out what the goal is and how I can help them accelerate towards it. So I'd love to hear from all of you. What does success mean to you in your business? I'm trying to bring up the chat box. Actually, can't see the chat box. Can you see it, Sue?
I can see it. I can see it, yeah.
Come on, let's have some audience participation. What does success mean to you? Okay, well, let me share what it is for me, if anyone's typing there. So for me, at this particular stage in my life, success is a combination of financial return, work-life balance, and seeing the massive impact on my clients as they take their business to the next level. I'm happy enough to support my household and be able to give generously to the causes that I'm passionate about, whilst enjoying quality time with my family and seeing my clients' lives change as they enjoy greater and greater success in their business, whatever that means to them. Don't get me wrong, I'll probably franchise my Success Club, my Success Mastermind, in the next 5 years, which will probably be extremely financially rewarding. But for me, my most successful life is very balanced, and I don't work Fridays on principle. So there are definitely clients of mine who aren't financially motivated. They're just on a mission to grow their business because of the life-changing impact it has. And I have other clients who've already scaled their startup into the millions. And honestly, both extremes you know, whatever it means to you, that's great. And let's just run towards it. So with that said, unless there's anything in the chat, which I can't see, it's disappeared, Sue. Has anyone?
Shall I read what a couple of people have said? So what does success mean? Hold on, let me just find it. Donna has said a great reputation and referrals. I said freedom, but I didn't have enough time to write too much, but I'm thinking about, you know, freedom just to be able to work when I want to work, and wake up when the alarm, no, not to the alarm clock. Louise has said success is enjoying what I do, getting a great balance of work and home life and helping others. Jim has said helping others succeed. Wendy has said building audience and brand. Damien, growing gradually, having balance and moving forward. Let me see what else I've got. Owen has said providing employment opportunities. Jen has said retaining and finding new clients, helping them grow and succeed, and enjoying life as well as work. Babette has said starting up on my own, supporting clients and growing the team. Lots of great responses on here. Mark has said delivering positive outcomes to our customers and enjoying a level of income that supports my personal lifestyle. So we had a really good response there. Thanks everyone for that.
Amazing. And yeah, I love that there's such a focus here on balance, helping others, providing employment for others. You know, all of that is great. And whatever it is for you, you know, just own it and go for it. And I just really encourage you to sort of dig deep, really focus on what we're going to go through today, and to take action when you come away, because it doesn't matter how much you learn from what I share right now. If you go away and you don't do anything, nothing's going to change. So let's move to slide 2. So here it is, that simple secret to grow your business. And what most people don't realize is that growing a business is just a formula. It's not one exact formula, and most business coaches use a subtly different one, but actually they're all very similar. I personally like this one below. I should note that it's not necessarily an exact formula that you plug numbers into and it spits out the number of your profit. It's more a representation of the different areas of your business to focus on. So where is that funny green dot? It is basically leads times conversion is your clients, times my maximized customer value is your profit. And that maximized customer value includes the value of your average sale, frequency of sale, and leverage. So let me explain. The leads generated, so that's like the new customer inquiries coming into your business. To get your number of customers, you multiply that by the percentage of those leads that you convert into customers. Customers and clients, I'm going to use those terms interchangeably, because depending on what your business is, depends on what you call them. Maximizing customer value breaks down into the frequency. So that's how many times, maybe in a year, are you selling to your customer. It's also looking at the average value of each sale and how we can increase that. And then leveraging. And this is the kind of exciting bit. So this is things like using insight from your customer to learn more about your target market, gaining amazing testimonials from your clients and customers, and turning them into lifelong customers and raving fans who introduce you to prospective clients in their network. And this can be done using the principle moments of truth. So if we multiply the number of clients or customers by the average sale, multiplied again by the frequency of transaction and the metaphorical value of the leverage, this is your profit. Now, for the purists among you, technically margins should be included here too, but it's quite a boring topic and I do teach on it, but I don't actually include it in the formula. And that's how you grow a business. It's literally just a simple formula. So when you look at this formula, the important thing you need to know is the bits in pink. Sorry to the men in the room, but the accent color in my new brand is pink. You won't see a lot of it, but you will see it. The bits in pink are the bits you can directly influence. And the bits in white are a result of the bits in pink. So everyone wants more customers. Almost everyone that ever comes to work with me wants more customers. But actually, there's nothing you can do to directly impact that number of customers. But if you want more customers, you just need to work to increase the leads coming into your business, and to increase the amount of those leads, and/or increase the amount of those leads that you convert into clients or customers, and then you'll get more customers. And the magic and the simple secret of business growth is that you're not necessarily looking to make huge changes in any of these areas. You're just looking to make lots of small tweaks, because actually any changes that you make at any point in this formula will compound and leverage off each other to have a significant impact on the final bit of the formula, which is the profit. And I have to say, whether or not you're financially motivated, you have to agree that when your business is making a decent profit, everything else becomes a lot easier. So this is the principle of marginal gains. It's probably something you've heard in reference to elite sport. And the idea in terms of sport is that if you break down any sport into the small, tiny incremental elements that make up that whole sport, and you can improve each of those tiny elements by just a small percentage, even 1%, those tiny 1% changes multiplied together across the entire spectrum of where you're making those small changes can have a massive impact in the overall performance. So this is what makes an elite athlete. It's basically breaking down every single sport. Swimming, for example, you've got the way the elbows are drawn up out of the water in front crawl. You've got the breathing technique. You've got the tumble turn at the end of the lane. You've even got what people are wearing. Each of those tiny elements you can break down even further into all of the elements that make up that particular part. And if you look to increase each of those by only 1%, around 1%, that's what makes an Olympic athlete, is that multiplication, that compound effect of all of those tiny changes. This is the principle of marginal gains. And the thing is, it's the same with business. Say you implement a couple of new strategies which increase your new leads by, something small, maybe 5 to 10%. Alone, that's pretty great, because that can actually filter through and directly impact your profit. But actually, say you also make a couple of small tweaks, you implement some simple new strategies to increase the number of leads that you convert into sales. And say maybe you convert 10% more. Again, 10%, it's not a massive increase, but it is an increase. And say you then implement a couple of strategies that increase the value you get from each client or customer. And maybe this helps to increase your average sale by maybe 15%. The compound effect of all of these tiny changes across that formula can have a huge impact on the profit that you're making at the end of the day. So all of them together are more than the sum of their parts. And actually, it can reduce the amount of time that you're actually spending working your business, because it increases your efficiency. It helps you to bring in new clients much more easily. And it can actually decrease the hours that you're working, which honestly, like the amount of people who mentioned balance earlier, that's always a winner. Does that make any sense? So when I first learned about this formulaic approach back in the day, it kind of blew my mind. It was a bit of a game changer for me, because business growth went from seeing somewhat complex to actually something that's methodical and just so doable and achievable. And that's what I want each of you to take away from my talk today, is just how achievable this is. So let's break down each section and look just in a little more detail at each of them. So, excuse me, seasonal lurgy, pretty sure it's not COVID. Generating leads or inquiries from potential customers. This is absolutely essential for growing or even just sustaining your business. And it's something that terrifies most small business owners, but it's not complicated. The key thing is to really understand your target market, who exactly they are, and most importantly, where they are, and to reach them where they are at and speak to them in a language that connects with them and makes them think, that's me, I need that. And honestly, I can't emphasize enough how important this is. And I highly encourage you all to check out the video about it on my YouTube channel. I think it's called Ruth Ferreira Coaching, but I'm going to put the link into the chat later for further help in exploring this area. It's not the smoothest video, but it adds a lot of value. For some small business, their target market is best reached online, and online techniques include social media, lead magnets. So this is something that people can download to basically, you capture the contact details and add them to a mailing list to keep in touch and keep sharing value. Search engines like Google, and possibly pay-per-click advertising and websites. Some businesses use a published version of media, so maybe advertising in newspapers, magazines, or trade press. Some people even use TV and radio. And other people use direct marketing techniques like seminars, lead generation letters, joint ventures, networking, as I'm sure all of you are doing if you're on this event, and referral schemes. So the thing that I want you to take away from this section is there's so many different ways to reach your target market. And I highly recommend, it's essential to use a variety of methods. So use some direct methods, some online, and some published methods as well. One from each category at minimum, and test and measure your results to understand what works best for your business. So the key thing to know is that no two businesses are the same. So the better that you can understand as a business owner that what works for you, the more efficient you can be in where you put your energy and marketing budget if you have one. So I still have no idea where the chat's disappeared to, but can I ask what everyone uses to generate leads? No. If anyone, let me know, Sue, if anyone fires anything in.
I will do, yeah.
What's your favorite lead generation method or your most efficient lead generation method? Find it.
Have you got it?
Yeah. LinkedIn and referrals. Facebook. Oh, I love a lot of people do really well for Facebook. I personally hate it. But yeah, if you do it well, it can work so well. On a directory, I love that, Louise. Social media and Google. Co-working, I like that. Networking group referrals, amazing. Oh, yep, Babette, I'm in a networking group with you. Email marketing, brilliant. Social media, especially LinkedIn and Facebook groups. And networking, yeah, amazing. So there are so many, I'm going to remove the chat so you guys can see. There's so many different things that you can do. And I just encourage you all to be really open to thinking about what else might work for you. And then give it a try. Most importantly, test and measure. So track the response and see what's actually working, because there's a lot of small businesses who have no idea if what they're doing is actually working, even with things that they're putting money behind. So if you're not putting money behind it, you're probably putting a lot of effort behind it. So just encourage you to be really strategic and make sure you know what is your most effective way of using your resources. So one of my favorite ways to generate leads in my own business is a referral system. So let me tell you about this. Now, I absolutely love a referral system, and it's the first thing that I teach in my success clubs because it's so easy to implement. And providing that you are providing a great product or service and fantastic value to your clients, it can have almost immediate effects. So in the business growth formula, it kind of sits across two sections. The leverage part of maximizing customer value because it taps into their networks, and lead generation. But honestly, it doesn't really matter where it sits. What matters is it works if you do it well. There's going to be some of you on this call who have a referral system and it's not working for you. I highly recommend that you review it and make some small tweaks until it is working well, because it can be a very effective tool. So if you get the referral system right when you're providing a great service, you should start to see a steady flow of referrals coming your way. And actually, we all expect referrals from satisfied clients, but without a proper system, you're probably not getting anywhere near as many as you deserve. So having a proper structured referral system will give you a steady stream of quality referrals. It will be better qualified prospects and better quality clients. They'll also increase the efficiency in your business because you'll spend less time converting these prospects, because you'll have heard of know, like, and trust. They'll already trust you because you got introduced by somebody they trust. You'll also be less likely to be competing on price because you've been recommended, which is always a winner. Price is never a good thing to be competing on because someone can always undercut you. And it'll help strengthen the relationships with your existing clients because you're helping their network and you're sort of engaging within their network. So honestly, it's a win-win-win. So the key things you want to be getting right in a referral system are, I've lost my place. To prime your clients to give you good referrals by reminding them of the benefits they get from working with you. There's lots of different types of system, so do some research. I don't have time to go into them, but test and see what works best within your business. And keep the client updated about the referral and be sure to thank them even if it doesn't go anywhere. I make a huge amount of referrals and nothing pisses me off more than not being thanked and not being kept updated on where it's gone. So honestly, I can't emphasize that enough. So let's talk about incentivizing the referral. So with any form of lead generations, you want to be considering the lifetime value of your clients, because if you think about how much it's costing you to bring the client into the business, but if you are going to be working with them for years and maybe be making thousands from working with them, then it's really worth investing in. Whereas if your clients tend to work with you for a few sessions and you're actually looking to have hundreds of clients that only work with you once or twice, then you want to be incentivizing much less. And test and measure. Find out you want to offer something that's suitably valuable to people. So I've had people offering bottles or crates of wine or champagne. It can be vouchers. For me, I always love when they offer something that's part of their service that can add value. So for me personally, I offer an hour of one-to-one business growth coaching. It's something people absolutely bite my hand off for. It costs me very little to provide. It adds insane value to the client. Like literally my last session, the person implemented 2 new things, which gave her 2 whole new income streams. And it further strengthens the relationship and honestly often results in further one-to-one work with that person who's made the referral that I've given the free session to. So honestly, it's such a winner. I just want to mention as well, cash referrals. I know a lot of people use them. These are an absolute pet hate for me. I just don't think they work. I think it's super awkward and it actually puts people off making the referral. So there's actually a different networking group that I was part of, and I loved that they had a referral scheme, and I was all set to make a load of referrals into it until I found out it was a cash referral. They were going to pay me a tenner for every referral, and it just completely put me off because it made me feel like, why am I doing this for a tenner? I don't want to be the kind of person that refers someone for a tenner. Whereas if they'd have given me that same value of free access to their network or something like that, that was super easy for them to provide, it would have been a win for them because it would have been one more person regularly on their network and sort of committed to growing it because I was there getting value and I'd been invited for free to the next session. It would have brought more people in. So yeah, I just want to make sure that when you're using an incentive, make sure it works. And if you don't know what it should be or if it's going to work, ask your clients because I'm sure they can tell you what they'd like to get. Another key thing is to be sure all of your staff are aware of the system. Educate them and remind them and maybe even incentivize them. And yeah, having just said the word system, ensure that your referral scheme is systemized and make sure that system is used. And then whether or not people decide to work with you straight away, keep in touch with them because you never know where they're going to be at further down the line. So how to ask for a referral? Well, I highly recommend giving reasons why you want referrals. You should never beg for them. So things that I often use or would suggest people use is I only have space for maybe whatever the number, 10 more clients. You are one of my best clients and I'd love to work with more people like you. Maybe you're one of my favorite clients and I'd love to work with more people like you. I appreciate referrals because I don't need to advertise and I can spend my time focused on delivering an optimum service. The key thing is that people know about your referral scheme. It doesn't matter how great it is. If no one knows about it, it's not going to work. And I think this is where a lot of people fall down. So because we're quite tight on time, I'm just going to show you what I personally use. If I can, how do I get to them? Oh, there we go. So I highly recommend that you have your referral scheme in 3 places. In your email signature. So this is my email signature. It will be changing because my branding is in the midst of changing. But it's in a sort of pinky purple color. It's a bit Marmite, but people notice it, and that's the key thing. Want a free coaching session? My best clients come from referrals, so refer a friend or colleague and your next session is on me. Email me now to take advantage of this generous offer. Full terms on my website, and I do recommend having terms because you don't, it's only worth incentivizing it if people become a client. If you're just incentivizing for people to make introductions, you might just get a lot of time wasting introductions. I also include this on every single invoice footer. Why? Because every time people go to pay me, I want them to remember that they could get their next session for free just by making an introduction. And I have to say, like, don't feel bad about giving away the next session for free. I actually have clients that their aim is never to pay for another coaching session with me again. And that's awesome because that means they coach me about once a month. Every single month, they'll be bringing me an awesome new client. So, it's a bit of a winner. And now I've just closed down my notes. Let me bring them back up. Excuse me for 1 second while I unlock. Okay, so let's talk a little more about increasing the conversion of leads into clients and customers. So your conversion rate is super important, and making small tweaks here can have a significant impact on your profit. It doesn't matter how many new leads you're bringing into your business. If you're not converting them into clients or customers, then you're wasting your time. So it's super important to focus on this area just as much as the others. And it's an area that can be very neglected. So what's really important in your sales process is that you have a systemized process to ensure you have positive points of contact with your clients or customers. This is entirely psychological because on average, it takes 7 positive contacts with a customer or client before they say yes. And the genius is that you can build in these positive points of contacts quite early on, so they've had them before you ask for the sale. Again, I encourage you to follow my YouTube channel and subscribe to my business growth newsletter. I've not shared on this yet, but I'm bound to in the coming months or possibly sometime next year. So if it interests you, yeah, get on it because I love sharing information that can benefit people. So there's several techniques you can use to help convert sales. My favorites are using a guarantee, which relieves the client's biggest fears and frustrations with your industry. Using something called the law of reciprocity, which basically you give the client or customer a small gift and they're much more likely to reciprocate by becoming a client. And then finally, using social proof. So in particular, within the social proof, using case studies and testimonials. So taking a quick look at the next section, which is maximizing customer value. This is probably the most complex session because it includes your average number of sales, the average value per sale, and then the leverage you gain from learning about your ideal client, gaining testimonials from happy clients, and helping those customers to become loyal, lifelong clients and customers and raving fans that recommend you to their own network. So one of my favorite strategies in this section is quite simple. It's literally keeping in touch by a regular newsletter. It can be done through the post. There's a lot of benefits to that, even though it's quite old school. One of the benefits being that not many people use it. Or you can do it much more simply by email. And just keeping in touch with clients or prospective clients who didn't actually convert into clients. One thing I'll say here is you must have their permission. I cannot emphasize that. I do not know a huge amount about GDPR, but I know that you can get in a lot of trouble if you don't do it right. So please make sure you have permission. And the newsletter basically reminds them about you, what you offer, and it helps you to make special offers and add value to people. It also keeps you fresh in people's minds so that whether or not they're ready to buy at the point where you first connect with them, they may be at some later date. So the key thing is not even necessarily to get them opened and reading your newsletter every time. Like, yes, that's great. The key thing is just to stop them from unsubscribing. So even if they're seeing your name and deleting the email, they're still seeing your name. They're still reminded that you're there. And when they're ready, they'll open it, they'll read it, they'll get the value from what you're sharing. And hopefully at the point where they're ready, you'll be the go-to person in their head. So the referral system also slots into here using this maximizing value section, as does social truth. So for time, I'm going to fly through one more thing. So I'd actually considered talking about the principle of moments of truth here, or using social proof, but actually you can find videos on both of these on my YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And honestly, I highly recommend that you check them out because they can make a massive difference in your business. But I'm actually going to share with you my biggest value adds, and it's my current favorite in my Success Club. I'm going to talk to you about upsell and cross-sell. It's quite a lot of value to add on a speaker slot, but I think you guys deserve it. So what do you need to know about upsell and cross-sell? Well, basically, these are two strategies that go hand in hand. They're super easy to do and they can make a huge difference to your profit. So they're very worth implementing. They both happen at the point of sale. And the key thing is they happen when the customer has already said yes, they're in buying mode and they're feeling good about their purchase. That's absolutely key. So what are they? Well, this is best illustrated by the classic example of McDonald's. The upsell is when you go and buy any of their standard meals and the person serving you asks, would you like to go large? It's a simple, rehearsed upsell statement that even a hungover 16-year-old can do. You know, it's not complicated. It's literally 6 words. And it's responsible for millions of pounds or dollars of profit to McDonald's. And it's literally asking the client or customer if they'd like to buy a larger volume or an upgraded version of the product for a perceived better price. So the key thing is to consider the value add to the client because they need to see the upsell as better value, and also consider the extra profit added to you. So it's all about adding profit on, even if your margins decrease. So in the McDonald's example, 40p extra to go large, it's not a huge amount. I had to Google that, by the way. I'm not a massive McDonald's fan, once a year maybe. 40p extra, it's not a huge amount for the customer to pay to have that larger size. So it's a win for them. But for McDonald's, most of it is profit because the costs that actually add in to, you know, a slightly larger packaging, a slightly increased volume, the costs are minimal. But it had a huge increase in their global profit. So it's a win-win for both the customer and the business. So similarly, at McDonald's, the cross-sell is illustrated when you buy a burger and the server asks, would you like fries with that? Again, 6 words that, you know, it doesn't matter how hungover this teenager is, they can do it. Sorry, that's a bit naughty of me. I'm sure they're very upstanding McDonald's employees. Yeah, anyone can say it. It's systemized, it's simple. It's something that you can practice and just reel off again and again and again. And actually, it's £1 per order to add on fries. Again, something I had to Google. And I'm guessing around 80p of that's profit. It really doesn't cost a lot to produce a thing of fries. So a cross-sell is something which is an ask to buy an additional product, which is complementary to the first. You know, it could be buying a cake or a biscuit with your cup of coffee. It could be adding a pair of socks to your purchase of new trainers. It's any product that connects and adds value to the initial product is a possibility. So there's a lot of overlap in the two, and it really doesn't matter which is which, but the key thing is the timing. You've got to ask when people are in buying mode. So for example, you order a watch online and at the checkout, there's a discounted cleaning cloth. All you need to do is tick a box to add it to the sale. You know, upsell, it doesn't need to be complicated. Oh, that's cross-sell. It doesn't need to be complicated. Once somebody's in buying mindset, they are ready to buy multiple things. And as business owners, you should probably take advantage of this. And I have to say, I am a shocking example of this myself. Like, once I start buying, the floodgates are open. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you, or maybe your partners or somebody in your immediate network, is quite similar. Amazon does the cross-selling and upselling brilliantly. So they have their customers also bought section. So it just shows you, other products that, are complementary and may interest you. And apparently it's responsible for around 35% of their revenue. So think of how this applies into your own business. So sometimes the upsell is as simple as literally just ticking the box to get the deluxe model rather than the standard model in the form. It can be super subtle, it can be scripted, it doesn't need to be awkward or complicated. So types of upsell, very quickly, because as predicted, I will run fractionally over. There's the car model upsell. Adding features to a basic model can have, a 10K increase in price, total win, because that's almost entirely profit. The client gets a much more luxurious experience of the car, so they're delighted too. And the additional cost to the business to deliver that upgraded product, most of that 10K increase is profit. Supermarkets, they do an upsell really well. Buy two, get one free, or 3 for 2. It means they make a second sale and they still have sufficient extra profit that it makes it worth their while to give the third item away for free. Please note, if you run a business where you're selling products, this only works if your profit margin is over 50%. Otherwise, you're just giving stuff away. Laptop upsell, moving to a faster model with more features, often considerably increases the profit with a minimal additional manufacturing cost. So I'm just going to run through very quickly a few types of upsell, and I'd really encourage you to have a think about which you could use in your own business, because I guarantee that 1 or 2 of them could be a fit for you. So there's the deluxe upsell, very easy to do, just packaging in additional attractive benefits which cost very little to you, the business owner, but are attractive to the customer and increase the profit. So have a think, what might that look like in your business? So for me, with my one-to-one coaching clients, it's not something I do, but I could offer a mid-month check-in, phone call or email, maybe an email containing the action items from our call. Another type of upsell is reducing the price for multiple purchases or increased quantity, so that as they buy more, they're getting better value, but you're also making more profit because you're making a bigger sale. Bundling, this is where you package complementary products together so that people are probably buying something they never really intended to buy that fits in together at a perceived better price for the bundle, but it means that your profit is increasing than just what they were originally planning to buy. And then time, subscribing for a longer period at a reduced price. So, this might be like an extended warranty, or, a sort of reduced price the Chamber of Commerce could use it to do like a 2-year membership at a reduced price. There's lots of different things that you can do. So I'd love each of you to have a think about what might work for you in your business, and please drop it into the chat to inspire others. I'm just going to run through very quickly some examples of cross-sell, and most importantly, a bit of scripting. I'm not sharing the wording on this, so scribble it down if you're going to need it. So scripting is super important, actually, so anyone can do this easily and you can train your team to do it. So a salesman suggesting to purchase a digital memory card alongside a digital camera, as an example, might say something like, because you're purchasing this lovely Nikon camera today, would you like to choose one of these, I'm going to get my numbers wrong, 50 gigabyte memory cards, and I'll just add $19.99 to your order. The numbers may be highly wrong in that. I'm not very hot on my photography. But the key words here, because you are purchasing whatever today, would you like to choose one of these, whatever, and I'll just add however much to your order. I should note there that the 9s are very powerful. I can't explain why in a short space of time, but there's a lot of power in the number 9. So rather than using £20, use £19.99. I personally hate doing it and I don't do it, but it is powerful. So it's just a simple few words in this upsell or cross-sell statement that can add a significant amount of profit to your sale. Make sure your staff are trained, rehearsed, and incentivized, because failure to do so, I'm going to keep repeating that, sorry, can have a significant impact on the profit in your business. Say you were offering to buy cufflinks linked to buying a shirt. Because you're purchasing this lovely shirt today, we have a special offer on cufflinks, which are made of sterling silver and will add a further level of elegance to your new shirt. Can I add just £19.99 to your order? I've got £19.99 in my head today. You know, it's because really powerful words in selling. Because you're purchasing this today, we have a special offer on this. Can I add just this amount to your order? Very simple, very easy to do. So have a think what cross-sells or upsells could work in your business. Let's see if I can find the chat again. Bundling, I love it. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's really key, Jen, to always be adding value so that everyone's a winner. Okay, perfect. Any thoughts on bundling? Help with a new logo, quote for the project, we can recommend brand guidelines. Yes, I've just been through this process and it's definitely something that really adds value to the client to have help with that. That's amazing. Anyone else, anything that you use, anything that you heard just there that you're like, I could totally use that? Nope. In that case, let's move on. The final thing I have to say on upsell and cross-sell is that you need to do it or you don't get the benefit. So I don't know if anyone saw that supersize program that McDonald's had about them a few years ago, where the guy had to eat McDonald's breakfast, lunch and dinner for a month or something. He got progressively obese and was not recommended. But every time they asked him if he wanted to supersize, he had to say yes. That was in the rules. And actually, it turns out he only got asked about 30% of the time. So if you think of that as an average across McDonald's, if 70% of people are missing the opportunity, imagine the value that's not being passed on to the customer and imagine the loss of profit. So get it systemized and do it and incentivize and just make sure people are actually doing it. It's super awkward the first time, but the more you do it, the more it becomes supernatural. So I just recommend practice in front of the mirror until it's something that's super easy for you to say. So I hope that's useful for you guys. Let me go on to my goodbye screen. And I'll just casually move this box over so you can see my details if you'd like them. So yeah, hopefully your takeaway from today is going to be that business growth isn't as complicated as it might seem. It's just making a series of small strategic changes across different areas of business growth formula, which compound together to produce significant results. So you've probably realized that I am really passionate to help small business owners succeed. So if you're interested in learning further business growth strategies, I highly recommend getting on my business growth strategies mailing list. I'm going to pop a link into the chat in a second, or just send me your email. My mailing list is just on the right there, and I can add you in. Also follow me on LinkedIn or connect with me on LinkedIn. I don't really like follows, or Instagram, and I'll try and share as much value as possible there. For those of you who want to know more about working with me, I offer a free 30-minute discovery call, and I'm currently taking expressions of interest for my next Success Club, which launches in January. So this will help up to 10 small business owners who are looking to take their business to the next level in the next year. So if you're interested to find out more about either of those, just drop me a message. But very happy to take any questions.
There's a question from Damien here. Damien, would you like to unmute yourself and ask the question of Ruth?
Yeah, hi Ruth. Thanks for the content. It's really good. The last bit on your formula about leverage, I'm just a little bit unsure what you mean by that.
So leverage is basically, it's what can you learn from your customers? How can you develop that relationship with them so that they are going to be with you for life? So that they're not going to go and look for somebody else who offers what you do at a slightly cheaper price. How do you sort of turn them into raving fans who are your, they've got your back, they are helping you to grow your business, they're bringing people your way, and you've just got a great relationship with them. So a key thing for that would be a principle called moments of truth, which is basically looking at how you can systemize having great moments for your client in every point where you have a significant interaction with them. So there's quite a lot of things that you can do, but it's basically the kind of fluffy stuff that can make a massive difference. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that. No, that's good. Thank you.
Fluffy being a technical term.
No, that's good. That's good. Thank you for that.
I'm going to stop sharing this screen just so I can find my business card and drop it into the chat. But are there any other questions?
Louise has asked a question, Ruth. Louise, would you like to unmute yourself?
I think I've unmuted myself.
You have. Hi.
Oh, hi, thank you. Yes, Ruth, I'm a hypnotherapist and reflexologist. So my business, I'm not actually selling a product. I'm sort of selling me. So that's, I was thinking about offering, a discounted reflexology with hypnotherapy, but it's not that sort of business. I wondered if you'd ever worked with holistic businesses like mine.
Yep, absolutely. I have probably worked with one of your direct competitors,
who
I probably shouldn't name because I'm not sure she would thank me for naming her in a massive call. But yes, so I have to say, you and me, our businesses are very similar. People, when they work with me, they literally buy me and my time and my skill and my knowledge. And it's the exact same. So an upsell that works really well for me is when I incentivize people to buy multiple sessions.
Yeah.
So if people do a block booking of 6 sessions, I offer a 10% discount.
Right.
Almost everyone, I say there's at least a 90% uptake on that. And that's great because they pay in advance. I get a nice chunk of cash at the start of the relationship, and then we can literally schedule in. And I know that in that time, I have enough contact with them to really help them to have a transformative experience. Whereas if it's just a one-off session, you get great value. Honestly, I highly recommend having a one-off session, but you get a lot more from having 6 sessions with me.
I think that's really a good idea. I offer 3 sessions, but actually 6 would be better because then I'd actually really be able to really help that person. But yeah, okay, that's great.
Well, have a think, like, what's the offer? Because if maybe it's offering 20% off for that 6, or
Right.
just have a play around and try different things and work out like what your clients respond to. Even ask them.
Yes.
Our clients know a lot about what they want.
Yes.
They
Yes.
also don't necessarily know what they want until you offer it to them. So, bounce some different options off them and see what resonates.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. It's been great. Really enjoyed it.
I'm glad.
Thank you.